So again, like building your instructors is going to be, I think, the same framework where you want to cast a large net. And there's tons of job boards. I do recommend sponsoring the job board. I'll give you a whole list, right? You should be on Yard and Groom. You should be on Indeed. You should be on ZipRecruiter. The quality of Facebook and this is the same thing for getting clients too. A lot of it is you got to make, like, advertising is just the process of making something known, and so many people just don't make something known, whether they're selling a horse or offering a job, or they've got a service that they want people to enroll in, and people just don't know about you guys. And people are like, well, I think word of mouth is the best, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me. I mean, it makes sense to me that your reputation, you should, fight for it with your life, and you should treat people well, and hopefully they say good things when they talk about you. But you can turbocharge that with advertising. So when you're looking to get instructors, generously sponsor that job post on Indeed, and make it seem attractive. Yeah, talk about the perks, talk about the commissions, talk about that it's competitive pay, and for a lot of people that are like, oh wow, like there's a great job in the horse industry, like I'm in. Then what I do with the riding instructors is, if it seems like a good candidate, I like to. This is like the equivalent of like a trial with a lesson horse. I like to put them through a paid training, and I really got this from Travis, where I think that, with his riding instructors and with his stable managers, if somebody comes along, he never tells them, at least last time I talked to him, like he never tells them like flat out no if they seem like a decent person. He's like, let me put you through a paid training and kind of put you on the bench, and maybe let you work once a week or something like that, one night a week. And then, you need a pool of people, because there's a lot of turnover with riding instructors in general. And so if one riding instructor leaving is going to completely tank the business, that's a risk you want to protect against. So you need to have that pool, and then luckily, Travis has a pool, so he could be like, hey, Lindsay just quit. Like, can you teach on Tuesday? And there's like 5 potential people that could be like, yeah, I could do that. And then pretty soon they're getting paid more, and then they might actually quit the other things they're doing and go all in with you. But you need to, even when things are going well, I still think you want to run that ad on Indeed. You still want to put people through a paid training and build up that pool. And then you are going to have, I think you do need to have like a couple solid people that are working for you, but you got to have that pool of subs the same way that a school, a teacher quits, teacher moves, teacher gets sick. There's a whole system to have, subs. Like there's a whole pool of subs. Like a teacher can push a button, and we all know, like if you remember when you're back in school, like, yeah, today we have a sub because Mr. White is on paternal leave, or whatever it is. So you've got to build in. You got to create your substitute teacher system, which a lot of people are like, their business runs pretty well for a period of time because they had a great instructor, and it's like that instructor, for any number of reasons, leaves, and they didn't foresee that ever happening, and they want to be in business for like decades. So you've got to really build up this pool. You want to have regular meetings with your team and your riding instructors and continuing education, and pay for them to go through programs and pay for them to get better. Again, turning 6s into 9s and listening to them and getting feedback on what's going on. I think, Travis, this is something you've done really well, where I think you have a lot of footage of you teaching lessons, of them teaching lessons. I don't think anybody is really filming enough and having, I love to review a riding instructor's lesson behind closed doors with them completely, right? I've definitely ran out there and corrected them in the moment in front of their client and embarrassed them, right? That's another big thing that business owners need to learn not to do, is run in and rescue their team members when they're in trouble and rob them of the experience of figuring things out on their own in any number of reasons. So I think it feels good for me to like wander into the arena and be like, no, hey parents, like let me show you like who's boss and who's the top dog, and like this is how you do it, and it feels good for our ego. But what's way more empowering is like behind closed doors, coach them so that they can be the hero in your business. Same thing with like saving a client, you know, or there's some sort of mess in the business that really falls on, like Tina was sharing that a client canceled while she was on her drive out here. And so if you want that to be your admin's job is to process that. And if that client's throwing up like a fit, you know, maybe you know, like, oh, I could pick up the phone and save this relationship and let me show you guys how smooth I am. But you're better off trying to coach your team on how to do it and empower them. And then if they win, now that's really off your plate. So it's a common trap for business owners to want to be the hero in their own business. But that also goes against the goal, right? Because if your goal is to work out in the morning and now you're canceling your workout because, you know, you've got to get on with the angry client instead of your team or whatever it might be. So you want to empower and coach your team rather than jump in and save them.